Dear parents, welcome to a new academic year. I, Dr. Anusha Venkatesh, and my team are delighted to have you as a part of our school community and excited to embark on this journey together. As we prepare for another year of learning and growth, we would like to extend our warmest greeting and introduce you to the upcoming academic year. First and foremost, we want you to know that your children's education is our top priority. We are committed to provide a safe, nurturing, and exclusive environment where your child can thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. Our dedicated team of cheerleaders and staff are passionate about education and are here to support your child's individual need and foster their love for learning. Throughout the year, we will focus on comprehensive curriculum that covers core subjects and emphasize critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, and collaboration. We believe in equipping our learners with the skills and knowledge necessary to succeed in a rapidly changing world. Communication and partnership with parents are key elements in ensuring a successful academic journey. We encourage you to actively engage in your child's education by attending parent-teacher conference and participating in school events. Together, we can create a strong supporting system that promotes your child's growth and development. Our school is also dedicated to foster a sense of community and belonging. We will be organizing various events and activities throughout the year to encourage interaction and collaboration among learners, parents, and cheerleaders. Finally, we would like to express our gratitude for entrusting us with your child's education. We consider it a privilege to be a part of their learning journey and look forward to watch them flourish and achieve their full potential. Our teachers, as we call them cheerleaders, are an important part of our family. Come, let's get introduced to them.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Divya. I'm a cheerleader of FY1. I'm eagerly waiting for our leaders to join in this wonderful journey.
Hello and good morning, and I am thrilled to be the cheerleader for FY2. My name is JC, and I am really excited to share my love of learning with my tiny tots. Thank you.
This is just to inform you that JC is going to be taking the FY2 for a month because Najla, who is our cheerleader for FY2, has gone for Hajj. Okay, now to continue, now I would like to hand over to our team to give you a glimpse of what to be expecting this particular year. Over to you, Darshini.
Thank you, Ms. Anusha. First, we will understand why Dreamtime learning was established. Next, I will take you to the next step, that is, to determine how Dreamtime learning curriculum will achieve the goal or objectives of why we exist. Then, I will take you through the what, which refers to the specific tasks, actions, or solutions that we will implement in order to achieve the desired outcome. This is the point where we will show you specific details and action plans. Our thoughts, beliefs, and attitude influence our experience, emotions, and behavior, and ultimately shape our perception of reality. For example, if we consistently have negative thoughts and beliefs about ourselves, we may feel more anxious, depressed, or unfulfilled, which in turn can affect our behaviors and interactions with others. Our learning design is created so that the learners revisit the concept of positive thinking, a growth mindset, and all the other ways of thinking, and being that given them the maximum chance to succeed as adults in the real world that is so different to the real world in which we grew up. Miss Leena's vision. Leena ushered vision a change with Kangaroo Kids in 1993. Now, You have future-ready curriculum with Dreamtime learning. Drawing inspiration from the Dreamtime, it merges ancient wisdom with modern innovation to sculpt a path that leads to with foresight and intuition. Lina's thought process has not changed. Whether we are teaching senior school or preschool, there are things we can do to make learning stick, make it relevant, connect to our learners' life outside of the classroom are all the things that the Dreamtime learning curiosity and excitement architects do in their background. Up first, we have a video where Miss Lina explains why teaching is an act of optimism. Let's watch the video.
Everyone, I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher at heart. The only thing I knew I was great at was I was a great teacher. So I was teaching in a school in Australia. I was teaching senior school boys, and they said, "But Miss Lina, we don't like poetry." And I was like, by the time you finish with me, you'll love poetry. And so we started an exploration of poetry through popular songs, the lyrics of them, like, we don't need no education. And suddenly, the kids were buzzed in and they were turned on, and suddenly they were engaging with poetry in ways that they did not think that they could or would. So
Lina's guidance to the curiosity and excitement architect is, I don't want you to think we are competing with any other preschool curriculum. Your learning design has to be able to compete with learners' attention against Netflix and video games. Let's watch another video and find out Miss Lina's view on it.
imagine a school where a child is as engaged as when the child is watching Kung Fu Panda. No teachers, only cheerleaders that are able to spark a child's passion and potential and make sure all learners succeed. Where the academic curriculum, mind success habits, and social emotional learning are completed, and evidence of this is available via child performing, producing, creating, and publishing, and all done in half the normal school day. No homework. Imagine the free time gained back with half-day school. Due to no travel, your child has time to play and pursue individual interests in other areas. Unimaginable? Come and see how we manage this at Dreamtime Learning. Everyone, imagine a school.
Why? Because the next economy is the attention and engagement economy. Not only do we fight for your child's attention by making learning as fun as Kung Fu Panda and Angry Birds, we also teach your child to harness attention, to focus, to be mindful, as these are the skills that will allow your child to win in the world where everyone is vying for attention. They will learn where to place their attention and why it is important to be in power and control of their attention. A lot of parents ask about the screen time and technology. Neither of them are bad. They become bad because children and adults turn to them as a source of constant distraction. One reason this happens is that technology has learned to hack our brain, but only if we have not mastered to stay in control of the tools of technology. The second reason is that children and adults are overwhelmed. Too much stimuli, such as noise, visual distraction, and things like homework and office work. So these things can lead us to turn to the technology as a form of distraction. Just like adults turn to alcohol, we teach our learners to train their brain to stay focused, and we do use technology as a tool, as this is the real world your children will enter, a world in which technology will be used, a world in which digital literacy is must. Let us find out with help of another video.
Does your phone ping a lot? Do you know that each time it does, it interrupts your concentration? The average person checks their phone once every 15 minutes. We teach kids that the next economy is the attention economy. Whoever gets your attention wins, and you lose. Do you want to win? Master your attention and your focus. Turn off all the pings and dings other than the one that reminds you it's time for some eye yoga or mindful breathing or movement. We prefer not to fight what exists or battle with our children. We want our children to win the war of attention, by giving them the thinking tools and resources to do so. Does your
What future employers are looking for? We have mapped what we teach to what will be valued tomorrow. With artificial intelligence already in our world, we are heavily focused on developing human-only skills such as empathy, self-awareness, and self-mastery. Let's see what Miss Leena has to say about this by watching the next video.
Do you know that according to the Harvard Business Review, companies are increasingly looking for executives and managers? Hard skills, by contrast, are declining in all postings for positions. This trend bodes well for those who have developed their emotional intelligence. How much time do we spend developing these soft skills in conventional schools? Do you know?
What are the ones that will succeed? There are 4 types or groups of individuals that are most likely to succeed. We complete our core learning and all mind success habits needed in the less time. This is so your child has a time to explore through unstructured play and other area of interest. Personal copyright owners. Unstructured play, also allows your child to work out specific areas of interest that is unique to him or her. A personal monopoly, or as Ms. Leena calls it, a personal copyright, refers to a situation where an individual possesses such a unique and valuable skills, knowledge, or abilities that they are the only one who can provide a particular service or market in a product in a market. In other words, it means having a complete monopoly over one's own talents and abilities. This can give an individual a significant advantage over others in their field, as they are essentially irreplaceable. We know the future belongs to those who learn more skills and combine them in creative ways. Children who know how to ask questions rather than provide rote learned answers. We will do this in various ways, like showing a child an object and asking them to come up with questions they want to ask about the object. Let's find out Ms. Leena's input with help of this next video.
Do you know that we train a child's brain to produce the correct answer? Yet the future belongs to those that have the correct questions, not the correct answers.
Through our curriculum, we talk to your child.
Did you know that the most you can help your
Through our curriculum, we talk to your child about thoughts, behaviors, and habits. Simple questions like, if you want to become a marathon runner, what habits will serve you more? Getting enough sleep or watching TV till late at night, eating this or eating that. These types of tasks that your child engages in gradually primes your child's brain to understand that your child is in control of choices, habits, and destiny. Up next, we have a simple solution by Ms. Leena, which will answer these questions with the help of next video.
Did you know that the most powerful thing you can help your child understand is the power of thought? Thought determines feelings. Feelings determine actions. Actions determine habits. Habits determine destiny.
Now that we know all the whys of our curriculum, we will explore how we design it to make sure your child has the greatest learning experience and the best chance to succeed as an adult. Engagement is everything when it comes to learning. We can teach anything as long as it is engaging. While watching this video, try to think of one way you could get your child to engage in household chores. Let's learn it from Miss Leena with help of this next video.
My aspiration when I was a young teacher in Australia, and yes, I was very young once, and was, I was teaching senior school, and I was teaching in a low socioeconomic area, and I was teaching boys who were like way taller and strappier than I was. And the principal actually said that, you're going to get eaten alive. And that was definitely not something that I wanted to happen to me. So what did I do? I mastered the art of engagement. I knew that if I have to teach kids poetry, I can't jump in with abstract poetry because there's nothing relatable to their own life. But say, for instance, if I start with, we don't need no education, we don't need no thought control. And I start with that, and now kids are relating to it, right? It's touching a emotional chord in them. And now suddenly they're engaging with metaphors and similes without me having to say, hey, this is a metaphor, and this is simile, and this is imagery, and all of that. And suddenly I had these senior school boys actually eating out of my hand. So some of the things that I bring from that into what I'm doing now is the power of the instructional design. So the way you actually craft the learning experience makes all the difference.
Three pillars of instructional design. Bloom's taxonomy of learning has its highest level of synthesis. Most of our sessions are only complete when our learners can create a new meaning or new structure based on what content they have learned and interacted with. The highest, most important pillar of Dreamtime pedagogy is for learners to create. Dreamtime means that we want our learners to create their own reality through their thoughts and dreams. It is also our acronym for the input, the pedagogical approach, the neuroscience and behavior science, and the future skills we embedded in our learning design. The mission is to provide the best learning system at an affordable cost to as many children of India as possible. Let us watch out this next video and see how beautifully Miss Leena is narrating it.
So Dreamtime is an Aboriginal concept. It is the story of how we, through our dreams, we created the world into being. It's a lot of what a lot of people are talking about right now, the Matrix and everything else, that are we living in a simulated universe? The basic belief is that our thoughts generate feelings, our feelings generate behavior, our behavior generates action, actions generate the outcome of our lives and what we experience. So Dreamtime is beautiful because it's an acronym for the pedagogical input and output. So just to give you an example, D stands for digitally driven as an input, and it stands for design thinkers as an output. R stands for relevant learning as an input, and it stands as reflective learning as an output, right? M stands for multidisciplinary as an input. It stands for moonshot thinking as an output. So, in terms of an acronym, it sits really well. In terms of conceptually, what it means is to give kids the power to think the thoughts that will serve them, that will keep them moving forward, that will help them become the best version of themselves. So what are those thoughts, and how do they control those thoughts, and how do they reframe negative thoughts? And so it's more about self-mastery than conquering the outside world, because if you actually conquer your inside world, your outside world is just going to be experienced as beautiful.
The acronym of Dreamtime on the slide are the implicit learning outcomes that are observable and includes D for design thinker, R for reflective learners, E. Excited about learning. A. Adaptive thinkers. M. Media literate. T. Thinkers about thinking. I. Imaginative. M. Moonshot thinking. E. Emotionally intelligent. Now, let us explore what we will actually do to make sure the why is met. Interdisciplinary learning is important because it will help your child make connection between different areas of knowledge, develop critical thinking skills, and engage in more meaningful and relevant learning experiences. In this interdisciplinary approach, your child will learn through a variety of subjects and activities such as art, music, science, maths, and language arts. This will allow them to explore a topic from multiple perspectives, which can deepen their understanding and promote creative thinking. Let us see what Ms. Lena has to say about it with the help of this next video.
The world today needs innovators and inventors of every kind. Innovation is a product of collaboration, not just between people, but also the ability to collaborate different disciplines, different areas of study in the mind. This is why we design an interdisciplinary curriculum. The iPhone is a mental collaboration of design and engineering. Successful innovation requires collaboration, often between disparate disciplines, which is why our learners are engaged in cross-disciplinary learning in every subject, every day.
I would now like to call upon Ms. Divya to take it up from here. Over to you, Ms. Divya.
Thank you, Ms. Darshana. Now I'm going to take you through the foundation year program at Dreamtime Learning. How did we reach explicit curricular goals and learning outcomes? Explicit learning is equivalent to intentional learning of information. The activities have outcomes that are stated clearly and can be observed consistently to gauge performance. For example, for a counting activity, the ability of learners to be able to identify numerals, count and state the number of objects that have counted can be clearly observed and recorded. We collated our curricular goals from EYFC, NCF, ICSE, CBSE, NAEYC, and Cambridge Assessment International Education. Developmental domains. The following are the different domains of development of the human being. These descriptions remain relevant along with the more modern understanding that has emerged through developmental biology, psychology, and cognitive neurosciences. Dreamtime Learning curriculum provides preschoolers and kindergartners activities that are developmentally appropriate using the interdisciplinary approach based on neuroscience, behavioral science, and includes Bloom's taxonomy. Activities cater to all the learning style and are based on the 8 multiple intelligence for learners to develop future skills. Those are, the first one is inquire and discover. Cognitive development or brain development means how we process information, our curiosity, imagination, long and short-term memory problem solving, and critical thinking. The next comes understand my body, understand self and others, communicate, think and express creatively. Types of learning outcomes. Your child will learn explicit learning outcomes like maths and language, but also through the learning, design, develop skills such as self-awareness or collaboration that are critical as future skills. And we also have our own Dreamtime learning outcomes that you may not be found in curricular goals documents, like knowing about their own brains and behavior. Academic year breakup. These slides give you an overview of the breakup of the academic year, which includes instructional and non-instructional days. Instructional days are 200 days and non-instructional days are 4 Saturdays. Dreamtime learning instructional design process is based on backward design. We identify the outcomes that the learner needs to achieve at the end of each year, collate the observable learning outcomes, that is knowledge, skills, value, behaviors, and attitudes, and then plan the activities. Learner Progressive Portfolio. This is a document that captures the outcomes or developmental result that will capture your child's progression. This is a sample lesson plan. What is a lesson plan? A lesson plan is a document or a slide that outlines the content of the lesson step by step. It is a list of tasks that the learners will undertake to help guide the cheerleaders' teaching. Observation cycle. Beautiful line said by John Dewey. Observation alone is not enough. We have to understand the significance of what we see, hear, and touch. At Dreamtime Learning, observation is a fundamental tool to complete the teaching learning cycle because it supports awareness of a child's development, skills, interest, strength, and play. Observation in preschool is crucial for cheerleaders, parents, and children. In Dreamtime Learning curriculum, as part of an ongoing cycle of assessment and planning, observations are made for individual children or small group of children, allowing educators to interpret children's play, behavior, and their learning styles and adjust teaching practices where necessary during unstructured activities. Analyzing and scaffolding sessions will empower preschool learners to master concepts and skills through personalized activities as well. Forecast. This forecast is shared monthly for preschools to provide the information to parents as to what will be covered across domains. Skills for a changing world. Dreamtime Learning curriculum for Inquire and Discover provides learner with opportunities to recognize how the science curriculum relates to the real world by linking concept and process learned in the classroom to scientists and their work. Science phenomena and ideas, events relevant to their age and experience. In preschool activities, focus on learners' experiences and surroundings. Connecting learners to the world beyond. Dreamtime Learning curriculum for Connect to the World apprises learners of their roles and responsibility in relation to social and civic affairs. It helps learners develop critical thinking abilities, prepare them to participate competently and productively as concerned citizens, and empowers them to address societal and global concern using literature, technology, and other community resources. Dreamtime Learning curriculum for Explore, Process, and Problem Solve ensures when learners are thinking and working mathematically, they actively engage with the learning of mathematics, seeking to make sense of ideas and building connections between different facts, procedures, and concepts. This differs from learners who simply follow instructions and carry out process that they have been shown how to do without appreciating why they work or what the results mean. Communicate. Dreamtime Learning curriculum provides opportunities to learner to appreciate reading and hearing a range of simple stories, poems, and non-fiction text. They're encouraged to make choices about books to read or listen to for pleasure and information. They are encouraged to identify how context and events in the stories are the same as or different from real life. They learn to talk about their own activities, including what they enjoyed, and suggest how someone's non-verbal communication reflects their feelings. Under this domain, children develop abilities and sensibilities in visual and performing arts and express their emotion. We focus on unstructured art activities to nurture child's creativity and to create representations of their expression, thoughts, and ideas. Our focus is also on music and movement activities and dramatic, pretend, fantasy, and role play, etc. Understand my body. Physical development include physical well-being, gross motor, as well as fine motor skills. Active play and exploration are the primary ways of learning and developing gross and fine motor skills. Learners engage in gross motor activities to build balance, flexibility, and coordination. These also include team and collaborative games that encourage physical movement as well as following simple rules. Fine motor activities include lacing, manipulating small objects, using scissors, paper folding, etc. Concept of self-managing emotions and behaviors responding to social diversity, helping peace, conflict resolutions, coping strategies come under this understand self and others. Dreamtime learning curriculum includes age-appropriate activities to extend learning beyond the classroom. That is service projects, Genius art, design thinking, PBL, that is project-based learning, or problem-based learning. Enhancement of learning experiences. Learning excursions, learning through experts, and enrichment days are recognized as important moments in learning as they provide a shared social experience to the children. These not only reinforce learning of the concept covered in the class, but also provide the opportunity for children to encounter and explore novel things in an authentic setting. Each of these learning experiences will take place every month based on the theme of the month. Everyday practical learning, or we can say it EPL. EPL activities are daily actions that empower children to master the skills required in the real world in relation to the environment as well as human interaction. Some examples include being able to feed and serve self, tidying up, greeting people, and even caring for the environment. Independent learning work is when learners are able to think, act, and pursue their own learning autonomously without the same level of support received from a cheerleaders at school. Learner success with independent work depends upon the cooperative efforts of learners, parents, cheerleaders, and administrators. Type of independent works are research, experiments, conversations, surveys, interviews, and collaborative projects. Learner-driven symposium. For the learner-driven symposium, your child, with the cheerleader's help, has identified strengths, challenges, areas of improvement, goals, and progress for each domain. Parent will be invited along with your child so that they can share their reflections. We believe the LDS, that is learner-driven symposium, encourages learner to take ownership of their learning and enhance the communication with parents about their achievement. Now we'll watch a video. I would request Ms. Anusha to please take over.
Hope the cheerleaders were able to give you a glimpse of what to expect. A checklist to be kept in mind, which will make our journey smooth, will be shared with you soon on your email. We have a SPOC, the Student Success Manager, whose detail we'll be sharing it on the screen. Okay, these are the timings. So this is the Student Success Manager whom you can take note of. We will also share it in the email for you. Now, coming to the important dates, please do know that on 17th, we have a tech orientation, which will guide you how to use our LMS. And on 19th, our school begins. We now have Leena Asher, the founder of the school, our guiding light. Please welcome Leena to share her thoughts with us. Over to you, Leena.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to do this a little bit differently. Obviously, I'm really excited that you're all part of where have I gone? I don't know why I'm having tech difficulty today. Obviously, I'm very, very excited that all of you are part of Dreamtime Learning. I'm very excited to see you here and look forward to having an incredible journey with us. Great to see you back, Darshana. So yeah, I'd like to flip it today, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have about Dreamtime Learning's pedagogy, philosophy, why it exists, anything at all. So the floor is all yours. Raj, can you allow parents to unmute?
No, it's a webinar board, so they will have to use the Q&A option. I request all the parents to kindly use the Q&A box, to throw in your questions, and we would be happy to, have those answers from our founder.
Okay, fabulous. Fabulous. So I've got my Q&A box open. I don't know if you've heard this, but increasingly we're hearing it, that in the age of ChatGPT, it's not the people who have the right answers, it's the people who can ask intelligent questions. So I'd love to see the creativity and intelligence of our parents today, and please throw your questions. It's the first bold person. Let's see who's going to be the first bold person to throw me a question. Come on. Come on. I'm sure you do have some questions. Let me ask, is it JC?
Yes,
Uday? Okay, Uday Kiran, how is Dreamtime different from other online schools? So it's an interesting question, and thank you so much, Uday, for being the first parent to ask me a question. One of the things I don't do, just like I don't compare kids, I don't compare us to anyone else. I can tell you who we are, what we do, and why we exist. We're here because we know that education and schooling is redundant. We know that kids have to be exploring more divergent thinking capacities than convergent thinking. And by that, I mean, rather than knowing the right answer to a question, they have to be thinking in multiple ways. They have to be thinking about their thinking. What type of thinking do they bring to solving this problem? I would say we're a fabulous IB format in an IGCSE avatar, because Cambridge has now recognizes online schooling. We're very, very progressive. We converge in 3 areas. We converge because we use the science of learning, which includes the brain science and the behavioral science. And we're very, very futuristic forward thinkers. So one of the things that really excited me about doing what we're doing is before the pandemic, I'd gone to a Singularity conference, which is like a forward-thinking conference. It's the 2 partners there are Peter Diamandis and Ray Kurzweil, and Ray Kurzweil is the highest paying consultant with Google. He really kind of envisages the future and tells us where we're going to go. And there was somebody I heard there, somebody who started something called Udacity. And the exciting thing he said is he's a Stanford professor, and he started the classes that he had for Stanford students in a physical classroom, he started offering that online to students at a really demonetized, almost free price. And 160,000 students from 190 countries came on and were doing the same course online as these kids were doing offline. And he said, the thing that fascinated him is the kids who did the best, the top 400 kids were the kids from the open system, not these kids who'd already gone through all these gatekeepings of grades, scores, marks, getting into the Ivy League, etc., etc. So for me, the power that said is, wow, we can demonetize education, we can reach more kids with great learning, because we can take away a lot of the costs that physical schools have. And the other thing that's really exciting for me is the future belongs to those who have, a subset of skills. And since we complete the child's learning in less than half the time, kids are then free to, develop these subset of skills. Shireen is want to know more about your experience centers and when they're going to start. If it's plural, then it has to be they. So when are they going to start? I think that's a question that Anusha will get back to you on. The experience centers are being set up as we speak, and depending on where I think the majority of students come from is where we'll set up the first experience center. So Anusha will get back to you on that. What would the students be surprised to find out about you and our cheerleaders? Nadia, what a fantastic question that is. I think if the kids have been going to conventional schools, one of the things that they'd find interesting is that we're on the side of the students when not on your side. We've created this learning experience for your kids, not to please and appease you as parents. I think kids would find out that I really want to be their friend, and I really want to know what's going to drive them and motivate them, and I really want to apply that knowledge to what we do. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm the founder of Kangaroo Kids in Billabong High. And I actually set that up almost like a democratic school. So when we created policies or we designed the uniforms and everything else, I actually did it with the students. Is it possible to introduce Tamil as second language for this academic year? What I'd excite you to do, we've got Hindi as the second language. I think we can offer you more languages, but you'd have to pay for it. But we could coordinate that for you. The whole thing is that your kids have the rest of the day free, and they can therefore learn anything and everything that they're excited by. There are no more open questions. I'll give you a countdown of 10 to see if any other questions come in. So 10. Oh, great. Shruti said, you said before how our thoughts govern our actions. It's not something easy even for adults to get hold of. How are you planning to deliver this to kids through online classes? That's a lovely question, Shruti. You're definitely going to make it in the age of ChatGPT. Well, we do it in very simple ways. And we do it, you can teach very, very difficult concepts and very abstract concepts as long as you concretize them and you scaffold them. So one of the things, for example, we'll teach children is the paradox of choice. So I'm trying to think of some preschool examples, because don't forget, I work with every curiosity and excitement architect all the way from preschool to now grade 8. So for me to remember specific examples is sometimes challenging, but I will try. So we'll show kids, for example, a wardrobe with 2 t-shirts. 2 black t-shirts or a black and white t-shirt, and then we'll show kids a wardrobe filled with lots of variety of t-shirts and logos and snazzy and all of that, and we'll ask kids, which wardrobe would you choose your t-shirt out of? And naturally all kids will pick the one with lots of choice. And then we actually show them how their brains get overburdened by all these little decisions that they have to take every day, and how it would be much easier if, we chose just to either wear white or black. And that frees our brain up to take higher decisions. Another way we do it is to teach them about when they have a positive thought, how their brains change, and they have a negative thought. We actually teach them how to reframe their thinking. So we give them, okay, if this was your original thought, if you've got a growth mindset, how would you reposition it? And we scaffold that whole process so they know, okay, if I think of this, oh my God, I'll never be able to do this. Now, how do you take that thought, which is a negative thought, and it's a fixed mindset thought, and how are we going to reframe it to a positive thought? So we do, I'm just trying to give you a couple of examples, but this is not only embedded in every single session plan that we do, it's also in social emotional learning, specific sessions for social emotional learning, where they start understanding the power of their thoughts. Roshan, how would you ensure development of the social interaction of the children as there's no much interaction in online as in physical schools? So Roshan, I would respectfully like to disagree with you here. We confuse physical interaction with social interaction. I am socially interacting with you guys now. You're either resonating with what I'm saying and your brains are firing a little bit. You're empathizing with me if you kind of like who I am, what I'm saying, and your mirror neurons are getting activated just like it would if we were sitting physically next to each other. So social interaction, we actually do more social interaction in an online school because we actually have those opportunities for kids to get into breakout rooms and do peer learning and things like that. So there's a lot of social interaction. There's no physical interaction, and physical interaction we leave for you parents because your kids have got their day back. They've got their childhood back. Now they can, they can go down in the building to play. They can learn new things. They can actually go to, if they're interested in piano, they can go and learn the piano. If they're interested in basketball, they can go and learn basketball. And their physical interaction will come from those experiences. So yes, I agree that we don't give you physical experiences. We give a lot of social experiences. And as we build these experience centers, we will give your children physical experiences as well. Do you have procedures you'd recommend for any of these classroom routines? Nadia, great question. There's one thing I'd love for all of you parents to do is when your child is in the session, what I'd love is what I've done right now. You can't see me, but my computer is against the wall. So I've got no distractions that come in front of me. There was one child last year whose mom sort of wrote in and saying, my child's highly distracted. So I went in to observe the class. And here this kid is, in the living room, facing the living room. And then obviously everyone that passes by is a distraction in her line of sight. And it's just automatic for the brain to suddenly look up, look away when there's movement in front of the brain. So yeah, so that's the only thing that I'm asking you to do. Dress code for kids is white. We just want, we want to use dress code for what kids really need a dress code so that we're not comparing Prada, Gucci, Nike, and all of that. So if everyone just wears a white t-shirt or a white shirt and rocks up to class, that would be great. And blue jeans. What about field trips for those who are not near to experience centers? We will be setting up field trips. I think there are additional costs to things like that, which Anusha can get information for you and get back to you on. Yeah. And you know what's lovely? I think some of the lovely experiences I've had in the last year, and don't forget, we only had a cohort of 20 kids. And the kids who are in Middle East traveled to Bombay, and they actually did field trips with the kids in Bombay, and Darshana and Anusha know about it, so they're nodding. They even came to visit me. So the parents and kids came to visit me. So that would be lovely if anyone's coming to Bombay. That would be something that I'd always love to do, is to hug these children. I also miss physical interaction that I used to get from the physical schools to the actual hugging. So yeah, and another lot of kids from Jabalpur, again Middle East, and Bombay, all went and did their own field trip to the Delhi Nehru Planetarium and things like that. And if you go to Dreamtime Learning, you'll see these kids and all of that. Can parents who are in the same city be clubbed together for field trips? Absolutely. Uday will work out. That's a great question, and it's a great suggestion. Anusha, if you can just make a note of that, what we will do is we will make sure that you have access to each other, and we will give you recommendations for field trips so you can take your children. One of the things that I'm very cognizant of is anxiety and stress is going up in the world, even though our physical comforts are going up as well. Like, so we're more physically comfortable. We've got more access to entertainment and everything than we've ever had. And yet anxiety is on the increase. And one of the reasons of that is there's not much emotional interaction between parents and kids. So we'd love for you to take those, the kids on the field trips, because we will be freeing up a lot of your kids' time. Character formation of the kids happens normally with the different level of interaction with other kids, which includes even the opinion mismatches and fights that do. Could you share? Oh, yes, we facilitate these in lovely ways. So I don't have a preschool example that I remember instantly, but I can give you. So whether it's pro-vax, anti-vax, it's pro-meat, anti-meat, it's all these things. The way we put kids in breakout rooms is kids are used to going into breakout rooms based on, okay, which is your favorite novel? And then they say which is their favorite novel, and then we automatically put kids into the breakout rooms based on their favorite novel. But one of the things we'll do is, are you pro-vaccination or anti-vaccination? And kids will either say pro and anti, and then the groups that we put them in are the opposite groups, in the sense that the material that we have them interact with is material that's opposite to their belief system. Because what we want kids to understand is that your belief system is made up of your upbringing and the experiences you've had up to that point. So, if we bring our beliefs, we don't have to believe what everybody else believes. We don't have to believe in what, in what our peers believe. We do want kids to have individual beliefs and thoughts. But the interesting thing is to bring more understanding and tolerance about other people's beliefs. And I believe that if we do that, we'll have less of what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, and more collaboration. So one of the interesting things, we do, because we'll initially talk about the fact that, a vegetarian leaves a smaller carbon footprint than a non-vegetarian person. That's just actually a fact, right? And we'll go through the science of that. But what the kids then, after they've done this and they come back to argue the opposite point of view, so the vegetarians argue the point of non-vegetarianism and vice versa, we then collaboratively, they come together to come up with ideas in which non-vegetarians can compensate for the carbon footprint they live, and that they do in collaboration, because that's what we want. You and I can have different worldviews, different beliefs, different religions, but at the end of the day, I do need to put myself in your shoes if I'm going to have empathy, and you will be putting yourself in my shoes for empathy. And when we do that, we just kind of have more understanding and tolerance. Do the parents need to sit with the kids for the learning sessions? No, just for the first couple. Darshana is saying no, because she's seen how the kids, she's been a teacher with us last year. Our learning, we call our instructional designers, we call them curiosity and excitement architects, because I tell them that you've only got 2 jobs. Arouse curiosity through the hook, and then build excitement to understand how to crack that hook. Like, the brain loves solving problems. So present the brain with a problem and then excite them to solve it. That's your only job. And I say to them, do not think of yourself. Somebody asked us, how do we compare ourselves to other online classes? I actually tell my curiosity and excitement architects, I do not want you to compare yourself to
another school, physical or online, I do want you to compare yourself to Candy Crush and to Kung Fu Panda, because I believe and I know that learning can be as exciting and as engaging as it is when we, engage in these things of distraction that are supposed to switch our minds off. If learning is exciting and engaging, we don't need to distract kids. Kids will be attentive and they will be engaged and they will be active and they will be excited and they'll be all those things. Okay, so no open questions. I'll give it 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much for trusting us with your children. I promise you, if there's one thing I do believe in, is the infinite potential that your kids have. And we are here to maximize that. We want your kids to be the best version of themselves possible out there in the world. And our cheerleaders will rock up every day, cheering them on and exciting them to be the best version of themselves. And so will Anusha, and so will I. I will give you all my personal email ID. It's just Lina, Lina, @dreamtimelearning.com. I think one of the things that's really different about us, as a parent asked earlier, is I really stand behind the accountability of who we are as a brand, why we exist as a brand, and what we do. And if something that you have is a challenge or something that you're not happy about, if it cannot be solved by your cheerleader and then by our very able online principal, our online champ, if it cannot be solved by them, you do have access to writing to me, and I will be available to you. Only thing I ask you is, we have so many parents, so if you can go through the correct lines of protocol, which is cheerleader, principal, and then Lina, that would be great. Yeah, look forward to a great year together. Thank you all very much, and I've been here with Anusha throughout the holidays, but Darshana, it is so good to see you. I'm sure that there are other teachers, but I can't see them because it's this webinar format, but I can see Darshana and Anusha, and I'm truly, truly happy to see you.
Can I add something? So
Of
I
course.
just want to assure parents that I'm a grade 4 teacher, all right? And we have this routine where all the cheerleaders have this meeting at 2 o'clock. So Ms. Najla, who is with FY2, she will share each and every child's success story. Some of the parents asked, one of the parents asked about the social interaction. I have witnessed character transformation to social interaction to and the creativity. So I can be the biggest testimonial, believe me, when Ms. Najla, she explains it to us, we are beaming with joy. That is what I just wanted to add over here.
Thank you, Darshana. I don't think there's anyone better to tell you the experiences of the kids than Darshana, who's an absolutely fabulous teacher, cheerleader. Thank you all very much. See you all throughout the year.
Thanks a lot, Lina. Thanks a lot, Darshana. For dear parents, the orientation session was designed to provide you a comprehensive understanding of our online school structure and curriculum. Your engagement during the session, along with your thoughtful questions and valuable input, greatly contributed to an overall effectiveness of this event. If you have any further question, concern, or suggestion, please do not hesitate to get in touch with us. We are here to assist you, ensure that your child receives the best possible education in our school. Once again, thank you for your time, active participation, and ongoing support. Together, we can create a nourishing and engaging learning environment for our learners, fostering their growth and preparing them for a successful future. Thanks a lot.